Hello, I'm Harry, and I just wanted to give folks a quick update on crime. I had a meeting with some gentlemen in Oak Park on Tuesday, and we were talking about how serious the crime problem is. Crime remains a serious problem for the African American community. We're overrepresented in the morgue and we're overrepresented in prisons. And as I've been saying, if you go down to the main courthouse here in Sacramento every Friday, you see our young folks getting 20, 30, and 50-year sentences. A 2011 Violence Policy Center report looking at kids at the ages of 10 to 24 notes that African American kids are 14 times more likely to be murdered than their white counterparts. These kids make up 7% of the population, but they account for about 30% of the homicides. And that was for 2009. Then when they look at data in 2007, homicide was the leading cause of death for these African American kids. So later on that same Tuesday, I was able to go down to City Council and speak to them. And the message that I tried to convey was that, there's some people who are working on this crime issue, but we want government to remove those roadblocks, to be aware that when they see us working on something, to help get those roadblocks out of the way. I also conveyed to them basically a listing of the crimes that have happened in and around the Oak Park area. Also, in South Sacramento in general, but, in January of this year, we had a 16-year-old teen that was shot in Oak Park. Later in May, we had another teen shoot another teen in Oak Park. And that's just some of the killings. I listed for them, for example, in August of this year, just in the month of August, we had a juvenile shot in the face in Meadowview. We had a young man found on his driveway dead in Meadowview. In the Fruitbridge area, we had a man found dead on the streets. And then just here at 99 and 14th Avenue, we had a gang shooting where someone was hit. And so, why don't you listen to what one of the police officials said about crime in April of this year.
Some of you know this, some of you may not. We are currently ranked number 2 in the state for violent crimes and also property crimes. We have approximately 8 parolees per 1,000 population residents in the city of Sacramento. We have 4,670 validated gang members. As the mayor said, over 6,000 countywide, which comes to about 10 gang members per 1,000 population. Officers, we have 1.5 officers per 1,000 population. 2009, 2010, we're seeing a steady increase of gang offense reports. They're up 37% from 2009 to 2010. Gang shootings in 2008, 18% of the gun violence was committed by gang members. 2009 is 26%, and in 2010 it is 37%. We're seeing an increase in gang violence in the city of Sacramento. It's very alarming.
Those statistics from the police department really drive home the point that we have to do better in fighting crime. Additionally, I'll say that I was at the hearings put on by the Assemblyman Sondre Swanson on the 17th of August over at the Capitol, and they dealt with the plight of men of color in California. And the testimony there echoed what we've been hearing for years: the dropout rate, poverty, violence. All of those things are contributing to this pipeline of our young folks going to prison. Every day we deal with the run-of-the-mill shootings, stabbings, and beatings in our community. But too often, a real tragedy occurs, and it makes us pause and look at what's going on. I'm thinking about the tragic shooting of Monique Nelson back in December of 2010 in Sacramento, and she gave her life protecting her son. In Stockton, a 1-year-old was shot and killed. In Oakland, not too long ago, a 2-year-old kid was shot in the arm. But just 2 weeks before that, a toddler was shot and murdered in Oakland. And this all happened within a 5-block radius. So that community is going through it with violence. And then I listened to the testimony at the hearings put on by Assemblyman Swanson from Chief Ron Davis of East Palo Alto. He talked about the tragic shooting of a 3-month-old child in his town in June. And so, if there is any good news here, I think that over the last week, I had a chance to talk to some city officials in Sacramento. And I talked to them about the Oak Park Community Center, and I talked to them about crime. And if there's a ray of hope to hang my hat on, it is that those folks seem genuine, and it appeared that they really wanted to do some work to help the public. And so hopefully that will continue. But this address is going out to the African American community, and I would say that our African American community has to wake up to the sophisticated political controls that keep us poor, trapped in violence, and nearly powerless to do anything about it. And so, to the mothers and the fathers out there and the kids that might be suffering some violence in some of our neighborhoods, I will say to you that I am doing everything I can to make our neighborhoods safer, and that's evidenced by putting out this video and the variety of things that I do in the community. I think this is going to come down to our community standing up and fighting to get better conditions in our neighborhoods, and we hope that you'll join us in that fight.